Kenny Ware.
How's it going, John?
How are you today?
Good.
Having a good day?
Oh, yeah.
Man, we're here at your shop. Did a little bit of different camera angles. I had to prepare you. How long have you been in business, Kenny?
Going on 10 years.
10 years, man. Where are y'all at location-wise?
Well, we're here in Killeen, off Lawrence Road. We have our second location in just north of Dripping Springs, outside of Austin.
Okay.
Currently working on our third one in Georgetown.
Awesome, man. So what made you get into this journey of mechanic shops? What did you do before this, and how did all this come about?
I didn't do not much before. I've always worked on cars, always been a mechanic. My dad was a mechanic when I was growing up, and just kind of followed after him. You work for some tire shops and some small things like that.
I was in your office. You used to race cars too.
Yeah. I guess that's a byproduct of being a mechanic. But so, started working at dealerships. Put in 10 years of BMW, and my father and I
We got to fly
quit
with this.
and opened this here in Killeen. It's been going for 10 years
Okay.
now. So.
And then are you still in business with your father-in-law? How do y'all?
With my father.
Father, yeah.
Yeah. He actually is at the Austin location.
Awesome.
He runs that one full time.
And so, coming on, how many employees do you got, man?
At this location here, we've got 8.
8.
And in the Austin store, there's 4.
When you were building this business and you were thinking about it, did you ever think it would be this big, or you knew it from day one?
No, I never. I don't know that I ever intended for it to be that big, or my dad at all either. I think it was more of us, just him and I, working on cars. Doing our own thing, but it just has steadily grown and grown and grown.
I've known you for a while, so I know some of your backstory, man. So when you were starting and you were trying to figure all this crazy mess out, it wasn't even like this. You were still working at the dealership, right? And coming over?
Right. So my dad, he quit working for Mercedes, and we found the building, leased the building. He came over, and I want to say it was probably 6 months or so, maybe 5 months, that he worked here by himself. And then I would come over in the evenings and help out, but I continued to work there at the dealership. So 5-6 months of that, I quit, started here full time. We both worked full time.
That's awesome.
Front counter, shop, working on cars, everything. A little at a time, add a lift, add a technician, add a lift, add a technician. So
and now it's just grown into this monster that you have as Eurotex. And so y'all service all makes and models, but your specialty is European cars?
European. Our background's European. My dad's been in imports his whole life, so I think that's where the import comes from. And we kind of lean more towards the European German cars, and have, that's
Did you just I never asked you this question, did you just like them before? Like was that your passion before, or you just kind of was like, this is what I know?
No, not necessarily the passion. I mean, I like cars. My passion is cars, but just kind of fell into the job with BMW. He was already working for Mercedes, so it kind of clicked. And but I do enjoy working on it a whole lot more than I do the American cars.
Okay.
So I just kind of stuck with it.
I got you. That's cool, man. And so how long were you at BMW? I don't know if we
almost 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah.
And then transferred over to this. Right. Along this journey, man, we interview a lot of small businesses. What's something you guys struggled with growing when you first were starting?
Gosh, lots.
You don't miss those beginning days, huh?
No, some of the struggles are still there, but I guess one of the main things is finding the right people. That's probably the hardest thing to understand, that if you have the right people, then everything's a whole lot easier. So, but those people are far and few between. So,
and I've always preached this. If anybody's ever watched our stuff, I love the guys, the atmosphere that you have here. What's something that you do to keep that environment going?
Well, we do a lot. We try to appreciate them as much as we can. We're very, very thankful for every one of them, that they, get up every morning and come here and put everything on the line 100% every day. So, we'll set goals, and we'll all work real hard towards that goal. And if we hit that goal, we'll go do something. We'll celebrate. And we've done, we've done some go-kart racing. We've done some water parks, and we always include their families, and it's a real good time. We all get together and just have fun outside of work. So.
You do keep that atmosphere going. What's something you see in a mechanic shop that is struggling for other mechanics? I know you're involved. You actually travel quite a bit and analyze other mechanic shops. You're in business. You're not doing business. So I say that because you go around. You're in a part of a group, and you check out other mechanic shops, and you help them grow as well. What's something you see other mechanics doing that they should be doing better?
Well, a lot of times, again, it goes back to people. I think if you've got the right people, I think it helps. You got to have the processes in place, but processes are nothing without the right people. So a lot, some of them will have some people that aren't the right people, the wrong people, and they know it, but they have a hard time
cutting it loose
and finding somebody else. They think it's just really hard. It's really hard to get rid of someone. So
especially I see a lot of times in smaller businesses, it's like family too. Like
right.
Everybody employs their brother or their cousin, and those are the hardest ones to try to cut.
Yeah, those are tough. So Joe and I kind of made a pact a long time ago that we would kind of try not to hire family. We have in the past, and it's worked out. But it's easier if your employees are not family and you can manage them like you need to. And but again, it all goes back to the right people. Get the right people, you really don't have to
people and process
too much, right?
for sure.
So.
Something that I always say, I've said from day one that I've been coming to the shop, is how neat it is. How important it is for you to have a clean work environment.
It's very important because I think it helps. It's an image. Not that we'll ever change the image, of a mechanic shop, but a lot of these shops that you go into are dirty, nasty, greasy. Things are everywhere. Just walking in, you feel like you get grease on you. So, and we don't want that image. We want to change that image. So if you bring your car here and you show up and you go, wow, that place is clean. They work on cars there. So that's the image that we want to portray. Because we can work on cars without having to get greasy, nasty, dirty, and so that's very important.
And you get higher-end cars. I think there's been multiple times high-end Mercedes, and you service everything. But the other day I walked in, there was a Bentley hanging out, and I know that means nothing. It's just a car for you, and you're going to treat an old car same as a Bentley. But
right.
I know it's important to keep it clean, and it helps the image. I think a lot of mechanic shops don't keep it clean, and that's why they're not keeping people.
Right. You got to keep it clean. Got to. It's hard, but you got to do it.
So with all this growing, where do you see it going? 5 years from now.
Well, my end early on, I think the end goal was three stores, and we learn a little bit each time we open a new one. And this third one is going to be a big one, so maybe more, maybe not. I just want to see how this one goes.
I'm hoping for
one
more.
At a time. Yeah, I am too. in the long term, yeah, I think so. But I want to see. Go through each one at a time and go, okay, yeah, we can do this.
So every time that you're opening something or changing in business, when you get a hurdle, before you were probably a little scared. Most people are a little scared to jump over that hurdle. Have you ever had that fear, or you just jumped and did it?
No, that's a big one. Definitely have the fear. Even with starting this thing, you're working at a job for 10 years and then you want to start your own business and leave. That's tough. And I got 5 kids at home and a wife, and she stays home with the kids, and that's the only income coming in. And how do you, early on didn't have those, but how do you leave a job of 10 years and go start your own thing and cross your fingers and hope it's going to work?
Well, when you were in that fear spot of that moment, what made you jump?
Well, that's where I was going. The story was, I didn't have to jump full. My dad's the one that jumped. He came over here first, and I was able to keep my job and make sure, because I guess it kind of helped me to go, okay, it's going to work. It's supporting one, now it's support 2. So it wasn't like jumping off a cliff, I guess. Okay. There's a lot of guys that open their own business, they just jump. And yeah, we both jumped, but he took the bigger jump, I think, because he came over.
That's
he quit
cool.
his job,
But
came over. So
learning from you always help elevate it. You're very systematic, process, numbers. Where we at? This is where we're at. This if it's the 14th, I know you. And when I call you or talk to you, you're like, all right, we're going to make it to the 30th, but I know what the push needs to be for those other 16 days. So, and I think that's important in business. A lot of businesses don't have that.
Right. You don't know where you're going. You got to know where you're going.
The angle,
If you're going to go drive somewhere, you got to know where you're going. You can't just go out there and just drive around and get lost. So,
yeah, that's true.
We got to have a map of where we're going. So that's the reason for the goals. Where we're going to go.
I love it. So let's talk cars again. Now, all your guys are certified.
They are.
Okay.
Yeah.
They go through a bunch of training classes. Is there something process there?
They've all been through training, classes, schools, continuously ongoing training, keeping up with the new things, new technology coming out. Any little bit of time that we get, we try to get in some training to stay on top. So
one of your head guys is actually California, I think he told me the other day.
Oh yeah, service advisor. Yeah, he's gone to some training
Awesome.
for a week there for service advisor training.
And you support that, right?
Absolutely.
So I think a lot of people in their business are like, well, you need to figure it out yourself. I think one thing that I've learned about you is you give them a push. Hey, if you want to further your education, I will help pay for it. I will help promote that.
Right. I think, yeah, absolutely. Us as people can always get better.
Yeah.
There's always a way to get better.
Oh,
So
sure.
sometimes we've got to go outside to get that training, but
I think what's cool about you, though, just outside looking in, is yes, everybody can expand, but you give it a little tap. You're like, hey, we need it, because you evolve that way. Your business grows
Right.
in that aspect. So, y'all, Service All makes and models, specialize in European. They can, walk-ins welcome.
walk-ins welcome, online appointments, phone calls, however you prefer to get your car in.
What's the address here?
2212 Florence Road.
Okay. And phone number?
254-200-1009.
Okay. Anybody out there that can reach out to you, holler at you, learn some more from you, pay attention to the content. We'll keep posting.
Yep. Any questions, give us a call.
Awesome. Love it, Kenny. Thanks for your time,
Thanks,
man.
sir.